welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about Real Housewives of Miami season 7 episode 1. I am so excited, y'all. I don't think you understand. Real Housewives of Miami is one of my favorite franchises. Those women are so funny without even trying. Effortlessly funny, honestly, truly. You could put them in a room and tell them like watch paint dry for 12 hours and I promise you it would probably be some of the best comedy we've ever seen. So we start off with the whole Todd and Alexia divorce, kind of non-divorce. And listen, I'm confused, okay? We have a big chunk of the story missing. What led up to this? What is going on through Todd's mind, right? And in that, we have Adriana. I was right. Here's the thing with Adriana. Is she so absolutely unhinged? Yes, absolutely. But is she necessary? Absolutely. You forget that Adriana is technically a friend of and not a full-time housewife. However, I digress. The fact that Todd moved all of that stuff out like in the daytime, was trying to force her out of the house, had already gone and rented an apartment, like, sir, I'm sorry, why are you acting as if you had to escape? You couldn't have a simple conversation with your wife? And I hate that he did it in front of Frankie too, because bro, we talk about Real Housewives of Miami and I start sounding like Alexia and Marisol. Bro. But honestly, bro, what is going on? Is it money? And the fact that they're still hooking up, I want to say there were pictures of them in the like page 6. As recent as far as I can remember, maybe like 2 weeks ago, they were kissing on the beach. It was really awkward. I hate that for her. And you know what? Marisol may be drunk most of the time, but she is making sense. What's good for the whole is not good for the soul, because this is not healthy. It's not healthy for Alexia. It's not healthy for Frankie. Nothing, my love. Moving on. Okay, the way I really thought I was going to be on Larsa's side, why I thought that, I don't know, because I really cannot stand Larsa. All of these women I really like and appreciate, and I don't want any of them to ever not be on the show. But Larsa is one that if it ever came out that she wasn't gonna be on the show anymore, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Anyways, for whatever reason, I thought I was gonna be on Larsa's side when this whole Lisa and her beef came out, but no. First of all, my thing about Larsa and Lisa beefing, they go deep. Okay, they cut each other deep, but also everything that Larsa is claiming about Lisa, self-obsessed, a bad friend, it could be applied to Larsa. All of that could be applied to Larsa. I feel very strongly about Larsa and Marcus Jordan's relationship, and we don't have time to dive into that. If you follow me on any other social platform, listen to my podcast, then you know how that is, right? But Larsa saying that, oh, I think Jody's just attracted to Marcus's last name. She's just attracted to the Jordan last name. And you weren't? Like, we have to be real here, Larsa. Please, don't do this. And don't get me wrong, I do think that Jody is absolutely attracted to the Jordan last name. That's why he wants to kick it with him, right? I also feel like Jody and Marcus might have similar extracurricular interest, because I don't think that Jody was enjoying the AC in that room. And I think the same AC that was in that room that Jody was in was the same AC that had Marcus turning onto the railroad tracks that led to him getting arrested, okay? I mean, these grown, you know what? Don't even get me started. Anyways, while I do think Jody is attracted to the Marcus name, I also don't think that he is as chronically online and paying attention to the blogs like Larsa is, right? So when Larsa walked into his birthday party and is like, did you see what Marcus is putting about me in the press? He's like, no, I didn't. And do I believe Marcus was talking shit about Jody? Absolutely. Do I think that Larsa stopped him? Absolutely not. So that's kind of my thing with Larsa demanding that Lisa make Jody do something. What were you saying when Marcus was calling Jody cheap? What do you want Lisa to do? Now, should Lisa unfollow him? I guess, girl, if you were requiring everybody unfollow Lenny, I guess. But at the same time, Larsa and Marcus kept breaking up and getting back together and breaking up and getting back together. So I do feel her. Like, is this gonna stick this time? I don't want to have to keep unfollowing and following this man. It's all giving very immature, and that's my thing. Larsa, you are a grown woman. Like, technically, everybody in this situation is grown, right? But you are grown. You have grown kids, and you are playing childish ass games with somebody who is my age. Me and Marcus Jordan are the same age, which is 33 to be exact, right? Also, I didn't like Larsa comparing her and Marcus to her going to testify in court against Lenny and Lisa in the custody battle and Lenny's new girlfriend. That was too far. Lenny and Lisa were married for 15 years, okay? And they have young children. You ain't got no young children, Marcus. Y'all was running around playing a whole lot and you like the attention that it got you. That, let's not do that, not too much. Honestly, truly, Marcus is just mean, right? Honestly, I think him and Larsa was two peas in a pod. Now she's like, he's being so mean to me. Yeah, baby, he's a mean person. Did you hear what he said about your fucking castmates last season? About how none of them would be able to clean the home in the Jordan household? I know you didn't think that was simple shade. I know you didn't think that was kind. It was actually gutter, okay? Gutter snipe, nasty spirit bullshit. And I actually was with Lisa again. Okay, listen, round one goes to Lisa for me, because you can't come in my home, yell at me, call me all types of losers, B words, all that. No, you gotta go. You gotta go. And then I let you stay, and then you still continue to call me a loser. I'm very confused also by Larsa being like, you need to control your man. You need to control, like, tell him who to follow, tell him who. First of all, everybody got a different type of relationship, right? I do not think that Larsa was running any of the men that she was in a relationship with. I don't think she was controlling who Scotty followed on Instagram. I don't think she was controlling who Marcus followed on Instagram, right? So for her to expect that from Jody, weird. Also, Lisa had let Lenny do whatever up in that house. All right. So what makes you think she's going to sit there and be like, you need to do this, you need to do that to Jody? Now, I will say, I do believe what all the girls are saying when they say, when Lisa needs you, when she needs us, we need to drop everything and be there for her. But now that everything's going right in her life and she got her man and she's doing all good, she can't be bothered with anything else. I see that. I see that. But everything else, I'm going to give to Lisa in this round, okay? That's my Jamaican princess. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Now, moving on to the other, like, major storyline that they introduced at the beginning of this season. Julia's a fucking weirdo, okay? The way Julia and Martina are acting towards Gertie, weirdo behavior. So first things first, Julia wanted to tell all the women on a Zoom call. So if you're familiar with Zoom, like the person who organizes it, usually there's like a waiting room and they have to let you in. Well, Kiki's daughter dropped her phone in the toilet, so she had to exit out of the Zoom call. And then Gertie, from what I understand, it's either one of two things. Gertie was in there and she was waiting, and then the like call dropped or whatever, and she asked Julia like, hey, do you have the code? Like, can you let me back in? But Julia had already told the girls. Or from what like Gertie said, she was in there, then she had a meeting she had to go to, and then she was like, oh, but can you let me back in? Either way, Gertie was there. Gertie was where she was supposed to be, and Julia, things were not moving along. Technology happens, okay? But it's very, very bizarre for Julia to then be like, you can find out in the press with everybody else. Oh, word? Okay. That's a nasty spirit and a stank attitude right there. And don't get me wrong, Julia has been through a lot. Very happy for her. And I think Gertie was happy for her too. But that don't mean Gertie don't have things to do. You want me to plan my life and my meetings around your pregnancy announcement? Well, not pregnancy, but adoption announcement? You got me fucked up. I'm very happy for you smooches, right? I know this is what you have wanted for so long, but I gotta keep living. I gotta keep making money, right? So that find out in the press like everybody else. But when Gertie found out in the press like everybody else, she texted her and was like, congrats. Well, you moved weird with her first, but she's still telling you congratulations. But since it was congrats and not a whole long paragraph, Julia's like, how fake? 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 Why don't we, let's talk about this about fake. Why don't we talk about you and your wife being terrible members of the LGBTQIA plus community because your wife don't stand with the T in the LGBT. That's fucking fake. One thing about me, I don't play about this shit. I hate that ignorant ass shit. And Martina got, again, you gonna hear me say it a lot, nasty spirit. Nasty spirit, okay? And then they get to the party. Gertie walks in. Some of the first people she sees, Julia and Martina. She says, hey, how are y'all? How are the kids? And both Martina and Julia are like, that's called being an adult. That's called being hospitable. One thing, mommy, I can't stand when somebody enters a room and doesn't speak. You know, black folks don't play that. When we enter a room, we speak to everybody. If you don't speak to somebody, you better be ready to fight. I don't care. That's fucking rude. Hey, how are you? How are the kids? And you know what pisses me off is if Gertie would have walked in and said, hey, what's up? And not said, how are the kids? Julia would have been like, did you hear she didn't even mention the kids? Shut the fuck up. It's giving reaching. It's giving wanting a storyline. And it's definitely giving fake as fuck. And then when Gertie is sitting there with Martina just trying to be like, hey, like, you know, I don't know if there's a disconnect. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but like, you know, I'm really happy for you. Martina's like, you have to talk to her about that. And I will. And I will. And I will snatch my congratulations right the fuck back. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with you? Ooh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I absolutely do miss Dr. Nicole though. I really do. I'm glad we're gonna get a little cameo from her, but oh, that's my girl. Hopefully she'll be back either next season or like keep popping in. But all in all, very excited after that premiere. You can't tell me anything about Real Housewives of Miami. You really can't. I love this franchise. Love, 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 love. In the words of Teresa Giudice. Don't forget to comment down below and let me know how you're feeling about the first episode of Real Housewives of Miami season 7. Don't forget to like and also subscribe. And I will be back to talk to y'all later this week about Love Island this week.